Hi, this is Claire Kerslake here, and I want to talk a little bit today about how to nail your health goals. And there's a lot of talk often in the new year about New Year's resolutions. Do they work? And you're not doing them because they don't work. And the discussion, I think, misses the point. So whoever says they don't work is partly right and partly wrong. So definitely the statistics around who's keeping going with those healthy goals and meeting those goals after even just a short time, most people have given up. It's got too hard. But the answer isn't that New Year's resolutions don't work. The reality is, and I use New Year's resolutions and goals quite interchangeably, is that we're just not taught how to set and follow through with healthy behaviour change. We just don't know how to do it. It should be basic. We should be taught, the way we're taught to crawl or walk or eat or talk, but in fact we're not. And there's quite a science about it. But the other point I'd like to make is that, and I'll talk about lots of strategies that you can implement to make sure that your healthy goals that you nail those this year. But I think we also need that mindset support, and EFT is absolutely vital to help you absolutely nail those health goals. So let's talk about where the strategies and where the mindset comes in, and how you can set yourself up for a great year. So let's talk about some strategies, and I've talked about starting small before, so making those healthy changes really tiny. And once upon a time I would have thought, what's the good of that? It's absolutely useless, but I was absolutely totally wrong. So we're more likely to keep going if we can start small and build from there. So it might be going for a 5-minute walk. An example of that for me is I'm doing I started out with a 6-minute yoga sequence on my front lawn. I'm up to 12 minutes now. So you tend to gradually build on that. It becomes part of your life, a bit like brushing your teeth. It might be, for instance, with your diet. It might be adding in a serve of veggies, for instance. So really those really tiny changes. I've talked before about having a trigger. Now, what do I mean about a trigger? So that means that you do your new healthy habit immediately after something. So an example for exercise would be, for me, I do my yoga immediately after my cup of tea. So that absolutely helps to anchor your new habit into an existing habit. So I'll link to a post on triggers below so that you can see what I mean about that. We've heard it all before: clean that unhealthy food, get it out of the house and out of the cupboards. And after Christmas and New Year, there's definitely some of that unhealthy, high calorie, high fat, high sugary food around that isn't good for us. So getting rid of that can be really useful, and bringing in the healthy food and having that really available to make it easy for you to make those healthy choices. Now, this is where tapping can be really helpful in terms of getting rid of that food and doing some tapping around that and any limiting beliefs that are coming up around that. So it can be fantastic, especially if you're craving that sugary food, which tends to be what we tend to crave. Also, feelings of deprivation might come up, for instance, of following a healthy diet. Sometimes we might think, oh, that I'm depriving myself. So that can be a lovely limiting belief to clear with tapping. Doing your habit daily. Once upon a time I used to give out advice, walk 3 times a week or whatever it is. And once again, I was mistaken. It's far better to do a healthy habit daily and make it part of our routine and part of just what we do, something that we do. So I've talked a little bit about limiting beliefs, but they're going to come up. So to use tapping to dissolve them can really help your efforts. So it might be something as simple as, it's hard to lose weight, or my family have always been big, or, I've got to clean up all the food on my plate. That's a big one for many of us. It's hard to, I don't like to exercise. So there's lots of limiting beliefs, and I'm sure you'll be able to think of a few more that come up. And tapping or EFT are really beautiful to dissolve these, because otherwise they're going to stop you in your tracks. And sometimes we don't even know why we've stopped, but they do tend to stop us. Another beautiful question that you can ask yourself is, what would future me do? What would healthy me do? How would she think? What choices would she make? And being that person and embodying that person, and how you can bring that into your day-to-day life now. You know, even though you might need to clean up your diet, even though you might need to lose weight, you know, how can you bring that future you into your diet today? And once again, there might be some limiting beliefs come up around that are just beautifully dissolved with tapping. So I think strategies are so important, and EFT, and together they make a fantastic combination for you to really nail those health goals. So I hope you found this really helpful, and if you'd like further help or assistance, do check out my coaching page. I'd love to work with you one-on-one, and that's one of the supports that I do offer. Bye for now. Have a wonderful year, and talk soon.